Okay, we're good on the audio,
All right.
and I'm going to pull up the story here. All right, let's go 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to another episode of Composites Weekly. Again, another interview here at the IACMI annual meeting, here day 3 on a Thursday. And I'm happy to have Toby Ferguson, CEO of MVP, Magnum Venus Products.
Good to be here.
Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
He's got some really cool things to share. How their company is just, quite frankly, they're just growing leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
And so before we get into some of the news, Toby, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And if you would start out sharing a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so, I'm new to the market, so please be gentle on some of the technical questions. But
you're a big picture guy, right?
Yeah. My focus is lean manufacturing.
That's right.
Process procedures.
That's great.
Things like that.
Yeah.
I've probably worked in 4 to 5 markets: automotive, food service, injection molding.
Right.
So that's part of that.
Okay.
SMT, through electronics, all kinds of different markets. So, typically when I get someone calls me up, for some reason my career always fell under companies going the wrong way, or it's disaster relief or something in high stress type environments. Now, I wouldn't say MVP's high stress. That's not what I mean by it.
Right.
But usually when a manufacturing company wants to go a different direction, or they grow outside of their current means, they need somebody to come in and change change direction. That's what I do.
Yeah. They've hit a plateau, and it's kind of like...
Yeah, and MVP fits right into that fold.
Right.
If you don't mind going into that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
MVP, wonderful company, been around 80 years, family run for the most part, almost all 80 years of that.
Yeah.
I'm the second CEO that's non-family, and that's only the last 4 or 5 years. So,
sure.
MVP has grown so significantly that their methodology of managing the company couldn't work anymore.
Right.
Most entrepreneurs, what they don't understand is they start off playing a checkers game. And that checkers game is that, or a spoken wheel leadership concept where everything feeds to the middle.
Sure.
Right. Checkers game is that everybody wears a similar hat, everybody covers down, everybody helps each other out, but they aren't. Sorry, my Tennessee.
That's all right.
They aren't.
It never leaves you, right? I mean, you never.
It slips out. They don't realize that the business gets complex, and so on the other side of every checkers game is a chess game.
Right.
If you flip it upside down.
Sure.
And what happens is the business actually, because of the complexity of the business, starts to change. The board actually flips all by itself without the leaders knowing it.
Right.
And so if you're a leader that doesn't know anything but entrepreneur type concepts, then it often are trying to fit a circle in a square, and they wonder why it doesn't work anymore. Or a 3rd or 4th generation takes over and does exactly what the grandfather did and doesn't realize why it's not working for them.
Sure.
Are they less brilliant or whatever? And it really isn't. It is. What happens is the game is now changed. And so when I walked into MVP, I saw this brilliant, this excited young team, this great product, good background, but they just lost their way with the complexity, and so we had to really reinvent who we are and how we do things with process procedures. And instead of having 14 direct reports, which is what I had when I started, we had to reinvent the 4 and start to create these lanes, and then realize, let's look for chess pieces.
Yeah.
Let's look for the rook. Let's look for the knight. Let's look for the pawn.
Right.
Specialized people, really good at what they do, but keep them focused only on what they do.
Right.
And that's really churned the page for MVP. And yes, we've grown in 2 years since I've been here 70%.
Wow.
Long sales.
Wow.
In 2 years. So in a manufacturing environment, that is extreme.
That's
Wheels
amazing.
come off at that point. Anything over 10 to 15%. Companies struggle in manufacturing.
Yeah.
Chaos starts to creep in.
Sure.
And MVP was no different. We went from, an average 8-week lead time to a 22-week lead time.
Yeah.
In a very short period of time.
Sure.
In our market, 22 weeks will kill you.
Mhm.
So I'm happy to say we're back down to 3 and 4 weeks.
Okay.
With the same velocity.
Right.
But it's told us we need a new facility. We need something better.
Yeah.
And that's where this investment that you're referring to.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
In Knoxville. Right?
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
$20 million investment over 5 years.
Yeah, that's actually part of the story. So
Okay.
It's actually turning into probably over the next couple of years like a $50 million investment.
Wow.
Because we're actually with the new vision of leadership and structure and actually claiming a blue dot. I call it the blue dot theory.
Mhm.
Everybody has to work to the same
Sure.
dot.
Right.
And with that, we decided that we didn't know who we were.
Mhm.
We knew we were a pumping mixing company and delivery system, but we lost our way on where does the market want us to be on technology.
Yeah.
And so we created a new methodology of looking at things, saying, let's create a 20-year technology roadmap.
Mhm.
And how do we start working on a technology roadmap that then drives our product roadmap?
Mhm.
And when we did that, we decided we were going the absolutely wrong way. The industry, they want robotics. They want an integrator.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and so what you're going to see out of MVP over the next couple of years is acquisitions into that world.
Okay.
And then more investments on. So we've invested in a vertical investment, which is the facility
Right.
here in Knoxville. We also are going to invest in technology instead of inventing
Mhm.
robotics and things. That stuff's out there. We want to acquire groups that can augment and bolt on to what we do.
Mhm.
And that we want to go to our market now and say, how do we do upstream, downstream value and automate your system? How do I create more value to my customer and maximize their uptime in boats and,
Right.
and things like that? Our markets, if you look at it, in my opinion, I've been in several different markets, it's behind the times.
Yeah.
On technology and manufacturing.
It is.
Way behind the times.
It is.
So what
It
if
really-
we could be that company that could come into the boating industry or the pool and bath and say, here is a turnkey solution, automated all the way from chopping gel and fibers
Yeah.
to ovens to cutting, the whole process. What if we could remove the roller concept on the boats, where
Yeah.
30 people didn't have to swarm this boat
Sure.
to,
Yeah.
to wipe it out? So anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself.
No. I mean
It's exciting stuff.
that's really important. You know, we were having a conversation earlier just about the workforce, you know, and the way things are going, and obviously there's a skills gap, and then there's a shortage of workers with so many manufacturing companies out there. I'm sure you all have experienced it, just
Yeah.
like everybody else.
Yeah.
But you know, when you look at things like that and you see, you know, what the future is, you know, you're going to have to look. You're going to have to be forward thinking, right? And see what can I envision a time where we don't have as many people that are rolling out, you know, the layout, you know, exactly.
We're not going backwards. COVID
Yeah.
happened, right?
Right.
And you know, before COVID, we would go to our customers, and
Yeah.
we're 90+ market share in 4 markets.
Mhm.
So the only way we grow in those markets is up and downstream, right?
Yeah.
Bring more value.
Sure.
And I go to my markets. I'm a manufacturing guy. I'm not a sales guy.
Right.
I'll give away everything. I always tell my commercial, don't take me because I'll just give it away.
Right.
People are going to listen to this. So just call Toby and he'll give it away.
That's right. Right.
But I go into operation. I look for where's the downtime?
Yeah.
What is the inefficiency that
Mhm.
my product's giving, or the product next to my product? Can I
Mhm.
take on some of that
Right.
and integrate? And so when you look at these things, I talked to one of the chop gel operators, and I said, hey, what do you think about robotics and automation and things? And you're like, oh, we can do that. And I said, well, why is that? And I say, well, it's an art form. You
Yeah.
know, spraying this stuff's an art form. And I look at my sales guys, no, it's not.
Mhm.
I said, they used to say, you know, they still say welding's an art form, but there's robotic welders all over
Right.
the place.
Right.
You know, we have to, our customers, the manufacturing tier 1
Mhm.
manufacturers, they can't go back. We're not going to go back. Mom and dad always aren't pushing blue collar jobs anymore. They're not
No.
pushing, well, they haven't been for years, right?
Yeah.
They're pushing the college degrees to everybody,
Right.
even when they shouldn't. And so there's a void.
Yeah.
And manufacturing is becoming a real problem. So
Sure.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Yeah.
So give us some details on this this expansion.
Yeah.
I understand it's on 125,000 square foot
40 feet,
facility.
Yeah, 40 feet tall.
Yeah,
the whole
nice.
facility. So we'll go up and out, and we have 17 acres
Okay.
around it.
Okay.
So
Where's this going to be located?
It's off I-4, the Watt Road.
Oh yeah, I
exit
know.
right there.
Yeah,
There's a facility sitting back in the back.
Okay.
And what's awesome is that whole area, I think, just recently finalized. It took years. It's going to be a sports complex.
Yeah.
All around it, which is awesome for us because that'll bring value. I think
Absolutely.
we're surrounded by this group, this
Right.
empty land that now is going to be used. Right now we're going through the decision matrix on how much of Washington does what and how much of Knoxville does what.
Sure.
Knoxville, I think I'm targeting to be more of our standard product, and Washington to be more of our project-based manufacturing.
Okay. And that's up in Kent, Washington,
It's Kent,
correct?
Washington.
Yeah.
So we have two major products really in categories. We have the large-scale mandrel winder type products, and then machines, and then which is going to be really susceptible to this automation process.
Right.
And then we have the handheld type standard, what we call standard equipment.
Sure.
And so one of the things I focused on my team was we really need, if we're going to get into this checkers game, which, by the way, the book that I'm referencing a book called Chess Not Checkers.
Oh, okay.
And you ought to read it.
I haven't.
Wrote it.
Put it
I
down.
forgot the guy's name that wrote it. It's a brilliant book.
Right.
And MVP is the epitome of this book. A brilliant company that's growing up. So the one of the things in that book and most key manufacturing concepts is creating centers of excellence.
Yeah.
You can't create a manufacturing environment that's successful, I think, and have it be general to everything. And so everything is just an imitation of, you get moderate. It's like, there's another great book, Multipliers.
Okay.
Which is, it's about leaders and how do you are you a diminisher or a multiplier? Sure. Well, same thought process can be in manufacturing. If you can create centers of excellence, and put your chess players of that excellence in those spots, you can really maximize your facilities. And so we're going to do that. And Washington Center of Excellence will be this advanced equipment.
Okay.
And Knoxville's expertise, and it will be this new technology and the standard equipment of the smaller pieces.
Okay. All right.
Faster paced manufacturing. Knoxville's slower paced
Sure.
manufacturing.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's great. I mean, both of those. So you have the Kent, Washington facility, which is the high end, the bigger.
Big stuff. Yep.
And then Knoxville is there still where there's Clearwater? Is there a location down there?
Yes, so we have 5 locations. We have 40 distributors globally.
Okay.
Footprints globally does the world. In North America, we have 5 locations.
Okay.
So we still have Oldsmar, which is referring to there, and that's really more of a service and commercial distribution area. And we have Canada, which is similar to Oldsmar. Goshen, Indiana, does some minor assembly.
Sure.
A little bit more so than Oldsmar in Canada does.
Right.
And satisfies also a distribution commercial network there.
Okay.
But the major primary manufacturing environments are Kent, Washington, and Knoxville. Knoxville today is tiny. We just bought this facility.
Yeah.
We're at 30,000 square feet and busting at the seams. I mean, and it's really not what I would call world-class manufacturing as of right now. And so we're growing up into this new facility, and we're going to lean that out and really create this really facility that we want our visit, something that our customers can come see and see the real power of MVP. So,
how many people right now would you say currently are?
220 is where we're at. With our velocity, we soon to be well above the 100 million mark.
Okay.
And so we're going to be. We're seeing ourselves in the next couple of years around 400.
Okay.
So another 200 opportunities here in Knoxville is what we're looking for when this facility really ramps up.
Sure.
Inside our current facility is a partner that we're working with, and so we bought a facility that already had people in it, companies in it. Some of them are moving out, some of them are staying.
Okay.
The ones we want to stay is a world-class machine shop.
Okay.
Called TGS, led by Brian Schmidt. He's an awesome, brilliant young man running the company. We are looking forward to working with him. We do a lot of machining ourselves, and he'll be right there in the building.
Yeah.
So that partnership, I look to get a much stronger relationship.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Supply chains has affected everyone. Obviously, for most companies, they've improved post COVID now.
Yeah.
Now that we're kind of out of the woods so far, but I mean, what's that been like for you all as a manufacturer?
It's been brutal. We had to carry more on our balance sheet, right, to overcome that. We do fabricate most of what we make. Almost, I would say, a high level, 90-something% of what we produce, we fabricate. So
sure.
A lot of people ask me, "Are you a pumping and mixing company, delivery system?" I said, "Well, if you ask my commercial guys, we are. But if you ask my manufacturing guys and gals, they're going to say, no, we're a machining company." Right? That's really what we do.
Yeah.
High level machining. So we're lucky in the sense that we don't buy a lot of raw materials. I mean, components outside in the real world. We make them, but yeah, the metals and some of those things really were a problem. It's really the costs. They were just it just killed us.
Oh yeah.
Luckily, the rest of the market was going through the same thing, and not just us, but we've had a series of price increases due to this cost process.
Sure.
And it's been our customers have been very disappointed in that. And
yeah.
I hope that we actually one of these days will get our efficiencies up and do the new facility and actually go back to our customers and say, hey, we're going to bring it back down.
Right.
We owe it to our customers to look for ways to improve our velocity and our costs, and then translate that back to them. And we're devoted to doing that. So.
Well, I think people. I think the whole market's experienced that from equipment to materials to you name it.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's kind of been baked in over the last 3 years, and I'm excited for you guys. You guys have such a great reputation everywhere I go with so many, whether it's in marine markets or, RVs, everybody, most of the market out there has the MVP logo on their equipment. They're out there using the stuff. And
we owe that to, look, like I said, I have a brilliant family that made this company what it is today, right? And one of the things that they were really true to, and I love the fact that they were, because it is what we are. We're a cradle-to-grave solution. Yeah. We're a little bit more money than our competitors.
Sure.
But what we offer is a lot more.
Yeah.
We don't wait. And we don't sell something and run away and say, okay, it's on you.
Yeah.
We're all about providing the
support
after the sale.
Yeah.
And that is we actually went so far this year to brand that. It's called CARE.
Okay.
CARE. And so we have now logos that say MVP powered by CARE. Because really what makes us a differentiator in our market is these service support that we bring after.
Right.
And we're actually developing that even further to provide material management systems for our vendors. Let's face it, we're not their primary product. They want to make their stuff.
Sure.
They really want little interference from us.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is go to them and say, look, don't even worry about buying it. Don't worry about inventorying it. We'll stick it in this machine over here. It'll send us signals, let us know what to order. It'll tell us everything we need to know. You don't have to do anything, Mr. Customer or Ms. Customer.
Yeah.
And that's really paying off. We even have RFID type systems that they go through a door and it tells them and it tells us.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, we're going back to the general managers, which I can reflect to. And I walked in, I said, you don't care about what color my machine is. You don't care about the machine at all, as long as it does its job.
That's right.
What you care about is, can I produce 2 more boats in an hour?
Yeah.
Or, and can I in a day or a month or a week? And how many hours a week does my equipment contribute to your downtime? And I'd get somebody say, hey, we have an issue with this or that, and I might lose 1 hour a week. Well, that might be 2 boats for them. Well, if you do 2 boats at, let's just make up a number of $60,000 sales price or whatever. I know it's not that, but that's $3 million. That's several $1 million a year of lost opportunity.
Right.
But what if I went to that customer and said, hey, I'll give you back all that and I'll insure it. I'll guarantee it. I'll pay you the money if it shuts down.
Yeah.
Now, how much is that worth to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that general manager now, they get rewarded on KPIs on, the efficiency of their facility. Now all of a sudden they get $3 million back in their pocket they don't have today, and maybe they pay me a quarter of it. Right. To maintain that.
Sure.
Everybody wins.
One of the things I've always thought that separated MVP from all of their competition out there is the fact that they do provide, you said, the ongoing support, the training, because that's that downtime, when you don't have operators that understand or are proficient in maintaining the equipment,
Yep.
That's a detriment, and that causes all kind of problems, and you could be shut down for more than just a couple of hours, for some of these smaller manufacturers. So, providing the support of ongoing training, at your facility. They come in for a day, they spend time, they educate the maintenance guys or the operators on how to, whatever piece of equipment or type of application they're running, how to, service that equipment and take care of it and maintain it, so that they don't experience it.
And you know what's crazy? I don't think our customers, we don't help our customers exploit that better.
Right.
I think that's an opportunity for us as a company to teach our customer that we're not the average equipment provider for you.
Yeah.
We want to come in your facility. We want to help train your team.
That's right.
And oh, by the way, if you want your team to focus on another piece of equipment that breaks down all the time, we'll take over for you.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to that maintenance and service support.
Sure.
But yeah, I think so many manufacturers get used to, well, I bought this laser machine or I bought this other thing.
Sure.
And it's on me now to maintain.
Good luck.
And so I want to go back to those.
Yeah.
No, it's not on you.
Right.
We're happy to
Sure.
give you whatever you need.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's the differentiator between us and our
Yeah.
primary. We have one really primary competitor, and that's really the difference between us two.
Yeah.
We have a great product. Don't get me wrong. My sales guy says, "What do you say? We have a great product." We do. But again, it's the uptime of that general manager.
Absolutely.
Is what he's concerned about.
That's right. That's right. Well, let's before we wrap up, what's the? I'm just curious, and you may have mentioned this, and I didn't catch what's the expectation or the time frame on this new
Move-in date
facility?
kind of thing. So the people that are in it need to move out. There's a lot of maintenance, cleaning. It's a high welding environment.
Okay.
And so our product can't handle that type of debris.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to go in and professionally have it cleaned and
Sure.
do some things.
Right.
I'm looking at us really occupying that space somewhere in the first quarter next year.
Okay.
And then really seeing the velocity gain as we go into the summer. And which would be perfect timing. It's going to give us about a 400 to 500% velocity gain as a company, which is tremendous, which is going to really pave us for the new things we want to do. Like I said, we have a 70% growth factor the last 2 years. We've held on, but we're at that. We don't have a lot of growth left
Sure.
in the current facilities we have. This new facility is going to get us not 70. It's going to take that 70 already. It's going to give us 400% more.
Wow.
And that's going to open us up. We're 90%. 4 markets. We're plus 90% market share. But there's 15 other markets we should be in.
Yeah.
We have 0 market share. That's what we're going to go after.
Yeah.
New technology, new markets.
That's great.
And really open.
That's
this thing
exciting.
up. So.
Toby, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining me on the show today. And again, people can learn more over at, we've got the website there, mvpind.com.
Yes.
And I appreciate your time. I look forward to hopefully following up with you, maybe out at CAMX in October in Atlanta.
Yeah,
so,
we'll have an update. Yeah.
Very
Thank
good.
you so much. It's awesome.
Thanks. That is